Hey guys, today's video is going to be all about the new Jeffree Star Magic Star concealers and setting powders. So I have the concealer and then I bought the setting powder as well. They both retail for $22 each. Today is going to be a full demo and review on these products. So I will demo them first and show you how I like to use them, and then I will go into a full review of these products. So please be sure to like and subscribe before you leave, and be sure to hit that post notification bell to get notified every single time that I upload. And if you would like to see how I use these products and my opinions on them, then just keep on watching. I'm going to apply a decent amount of this concealer to my under eyes as well as the eyelid area. And then I'm going to be buffing this out with my Morphe Flawless Complexion Sponge. Now I'm taking that powder on that exact same sponge and just pressing this into the under eye area as well as the eyelid to set that in place. Now I'm just going to repeat that exact same thing on the other side, so I'm applying a decent amount of that concealer to the under eyes and then to the eyelid as well. And then buffing that out with my Morphe Flawless Complexion Sponge. And then again, I'm just using that translucent powder to set the under eyes and the eyelid as well. Then I'm also taking that translucent powder in the T-zone, so I'm going to set the nose, the forehead, and the chin. Now I already have my eyebrows done, and I am taking my Merle Norman concealer brush with a little bit of that concealer and just kind of shaping the underside of the eyebrows just very lightly. Then I'm using a Morphe lip brush with that translucent powder just to set down that concealer that we used to carve out the eyebrows. Alright guys, now that you have seen how I like to use these products at home, now I'm going to talk about my opinions on them, whether I think they're worth the money, and everything like that. So I'm going to start off with talking about the concealer, and I got the shade C3, and I actually think this shade is perfect for right now. Now once I have more color, like when I'm self-tanned and stuff, I will probably need a darker one, but I got my fair shade just to try it first and see how I like it, because I'm my fair self majority of the year. So this shade worked perfect for me. I'm going to talk about the packaging first. I love the packaging. I think this little like star that's up here on the very top is so stinking cute. I love this pink part. I love the little Jeffree Star logo around here. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I love the packaging. I think the packaging is beautiful. I really like the doe foot applicator that's on it. It looks like this. And I love it because it's very flexible. Like you can move it, you can use either side of it, and it kind of moves with as you use it, which I really, really like. Now let's talk about the actual product itself. So I'm going to start with the pros and then I will go into the cons. So pros of this. I think the finish of it is very, very pretty. I love the finish of it. I love that once it completely dries down, it has kind of like a soft matte kind of finish, almost feeling like you have set it with powder even though you haven't. So I do really like that. I think it has very good coverage. Overall, I think it's a really, really great concealer. It is one of my new favorites, but let's kind of go into the cons too. So it's not as amazing as I kind of wanted it to be. So the things I have noticed with it is you have to make sure your under eyes are very, very hydrated before using this concealer. Otherwise, I think it looks kind of dry on the under eyes. So how I have found that it works best for me is the night before I use a little bit of oil under my eyes and on my eyelids because that's where I use the concealer. And then I don't wait much time after I have put my eye cream on before I go with the concealer as well, because I have found that it does look a little dry. So people that have drier skin, I don't know how they would like this concealer, because that's just one thing I have noticed. And the other thing I've noticed is it actually creases pretty quickly. So I have found that it works best for me to set one eye at a time. Now when I do that, it does flawlessly, but I do have to do it one eye at a time. Otherwise, it kind of starts to crease as I'm blending out the other eye. So do keep that in mind, but I don't know, for me that's not a deal breaker by any means. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is it is advertised as full coverage, and it can be. But in my opinion, personally, I think it's more like medium to full, because when it comes to how much I have to use for how much coverage I get, my Tarte Shape Tape still does beat it with, I can do 3 little swipes of concealer under my eyes, blend that out, and I have the amount of coverage that I have right now. And as you saw in my demo clip, I had to do more than the 3 swipes to get this kind of coverage from this concealer. So that's one thing that I think is a little bit of false advertising. I think it's more medium to full coverage, and it's buildable. It is very buildable, but you're not going to get full coverage with very minimal product. I think you do have to use a little bit more of it, but it does not look cakey the more that you use, which is fantastic because some concealers definitely do. The more you use, the cakier it gets. But it's a pretty thin consistency. It's not too thick, so that really helps. So yeah, those are my only cons with it. I definitely have some of both, and it's because, okay, I mean, it's Jeffree Star. I had very, very high hopes for this concealer, and it definitely did deliver, but there's also things that it did not deliver for me too. So I just think it has little things that you have to learn how to work with it, kind of a thing. But it's an absolutely stunning concealer. It is one of my favorites. This and Tarte Shape Tape are my 2 absolute favorite concealers, and this honestly is my favorite concealer I've ever found to shape the eyebrows. It really is. It is perfect for shaping the eyebrows because it's like it's thin enough but not too thin that it's just perfect for kind of carving out the brow area or anywhere else. I haven't really done it anywhere else, but I used it to carve out my brows, and I've been doing that ever since I have got it, and I am obsessed with using it like this. So overall, I think it is definitely worth the money because even though you do have to use a little bit more than Shape Tape to get the same amount of coverage, this is cheaper than Shape Tape. Shape Tape I think retails for, I can't remember. It's like I think it's either between $28 or $30, somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly how much it retails for. But it's around $30 for Tarte Shape Tape, whereas this one is $22. So for the price, this is most definitely worth it. I would highly, highly recommend it. It is a awesome, awesome concealer. So yes, and I love how he describes the shades on his website as well, that it makes it very easy for somebody going and looking to be able to pick out their shade that they would need. So I highly recommend the concealer. There are pros and cons, but it's an amazing concealer, and it is one of my new favorites. So now let's talk about the powder. Again, I love the packaging. I love the Jeffree Star logo and everything. I love that the label on the back of this is huge. So I got the translucent one just because I usually just set it, use it for my under eyes. Sometimes I'll use translucent powder like when I'm self-tanned, but I usually use my Merle Norman Ultra Powder when I am fair, because I love that powder. But anyways, I love this. The one thing that kind of sucks is, like, I don't know if you can tell, but it gets fingerprints really bad on the cap. So that's one downside that kind of sucks. But overall though, I love the packaging because you can still wipe the fingerprints off. So it wipes down really easy. I love that. So now let's get into how the product actually performs. So I think this powder is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. This is very quickly became one of my favorite translucent powders, and that is because it gives you the most airbrushed look under your eyes. It is stunning, like absolutely stunning. And then like when you feel it, like it just feels silky and absolutely beautiful. I love it. I love how finely milled it is. I think that helps with the airbrushed look, but it looks stunning. It sets the under eyes beautifully. It's not too drying. It's not too mattifying. It's beautiful. Now, I have only one con about this powder. I love it. I hate the smell. I wish he would have just made it fragrance free, because I mean, I've gotten used to it now, but like when I first put it on my damp sponge to put it on my eye area, it's like overwhelming. Now when I'm done kind of setting the eye area, I don't really smell it after that, but when I'm putting it on, the smell is overwhelming and I don't like the smell. So that is my only con. I kind of wish he would have made it just fragrance free, but it's okay because I love the powder, so I will still continue to use it. But I will say I do not like the smell whatsoever. I wish that they wouldn't have done that. But yeah, so that is what I think of these products. I would highly recommend both of them. I think they both are amazing products, and for the price they're even better, because let me see, this concealer I think is just under average, something like that, but okay, you get a little under average with this too. But for the price, they are really awesome. They're awesome in general. Anyways, I do really love these products. I would highly recommend them, and thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again in my next one. Bye!